Do you guys know what stocks report earnings tomorrow? What's going on, team? It's Ricky with Technical Solutions here, following up after today's live session. We live streamed Facebook earnings, watching Facebook go from lows of 172 all the way to highs. Well, during normal trading hours, it went to highs of about $200 a share. Facebook closed 18% in the green after market hours. If you didn't see how this positively influenced the overall NASDAQ market, you guys can look up at TQQQ, and TQQQ alone gapped up 3.86% during the aftermarket trading session. Most likely, if your stock that you're invested in is a tech stock, it probably went up after market hours. But we're not going to be talking about that. I just wanted to give you guys a quick little market update. I snuck away from my newborn as of right now just to provide you guys these details. Tomorrow, two of the biggest contributors for stocks that are publicly traded report earnings tomorrow. Apple and Amazon. One with a $2.56 trillion market cap, the most valuable stock that's publicly traded or company that's publicly traded. And then Amazon, the monopoly, right? $1.41 trillion. Both of these stocks report earnings after market closes. So whenever the market closes, literally right after, we should see a reaction, and then shortly after, they actually break down their earnings report. With that being said, we do have Intel and Twitter. Twitter's based off of current kind of just like news, Twitter's going to be one that has a lot of attention, especially after Elon is in the works of potentially acquiring it. To my understanding, he still has up until fall to come up with the funds. The only other one that I'm really going to be paying attention to is Roku, and that's also after market hours. So the only one that is going to be reporting earnings before the market opens, that is Twitter itself, and that's before market opens. And Apple, Amazon, Intel, and Roku are going to be reporting earnings after market hours. I'm really just going to talk about the main two. I'm going to be talking about Amazon and Apple and my thoughts on it. Before I even do that, just letting you guys know, the NASDAQ market right now is up 1.3% in the green. This is great for everyone that's long, meaning that you're trying to make money as the market goes up. If you're short of the market, if the market were to open right now, you would be in the red, right? Market is up. This is a great indicator for the NASDAQ market. Facebook was no question one of the biggest contributors when it comes down to this influence that it had with the overall NASDAQ market. Now let's go ahead and jump into the expectations for both Apple and Amazon when it comes down to their earnings. Apple, it should be no surprise, kills their earnings every single time. The only thing that I do want to share with you is their CEO did hint that when it put up its privacy policy for Facebook, Google, and all of these different social media platforms to not be able to track their users, that wasn't an incentive for Apple itself, and it wasn't that it was necessarily making more on revenue. I'm not too sure why that just caught me off guard, but I feel like he was hinting on a potential lower, just earnings than what is actually expected. As you guys could imagine, ever since those privacy policies have been put in place, a lot of social media platforms have really been hurting based off of advertisers, as they're no longer converting at what they were. And if advertisers aren't converting at what they were, they spend less money. And if they spend less money, then platforms like Facebook and Google make less money. Again, it's a domino effect. When it comes down to Apple itself, their expected EPS, which is their earnings per share, is 1.43, and their expected revenue is $93.9 billion, based off of Facebook's expectation about, 3 or 4 times greater than that of Facebook. So let's go ahead and move on to Amazon. Amazon's EPS, which is earnings per share, is 8.5, and their expected revenue is $116.5 billion in just one quarter. Not too bad. I actually want to look at their Q4 for 2021. Yeah, their expected was $137 billion, as it makes sense that the revenue should be a little bit greater due to the holiday. But now this is Q1, again, the first year of 2022. I'm super excited to follow up. I really do think that tomorrow is just that pivotal moment that if Apple, Facebook, It's kind of like, you know, what I imagine it is what's that track team where they're running on track and they're passing the baton, right? Track and field. And then Facebook just, you know, has a gap. They absolutely killed it. Facebook caused the market to rise today. No question about it. 18%. So we're off to a great start. Finally, some bullish movement. Now it's up to the big dogs, right? We got Usain Bolt and whoever else is similar to Usain Bolt, right? These two big dogs, such as Apple and Amazon, are going to be one of the biggest contributors when it comes down to the NASDAQ market. As long as nothing else changes when it comes down to Russia attacking Ukraine and that getting worse, as long as COVID doesn't get worse, as long as inflation and interest rates stay relatively the same, one of the things that we've talked about so many times before is that the market doesn't always just recover when things get better. They sometimes and more often recover when they don't get worse because things are factored into the market right away. That's why when you hear news, there's an influence. And then after that influence, and if things don't get worse, then there's a recovery. This is what we see time and time again. So I'm really excited to follow up with this during tomorrow's live trading session. Again, I would love the opportunity for you guys to watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow at market open. And the first link in the description, I'm going to link a $50 off coupon. If you're ready to join our team for Learn, Plan, Profit 2.0 and watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow, I'd be more than happy to have you. Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below. And friendly reminder, one of the things that I did want to make sure that you guys were aware is our free live trading session will be on Friday. You guys absolutely killed it with the previous video. You guys got it over 1,000 likes. I want to see what we can do with this one as well. Let's continue that momentum. Let's hope that the market continues that bullish activity. I'm very excited to follow up on Apple and Amazon, and potentially take a couple long positions if the direction is simply in our favor. Again, all we can do is, as of right now, just try to stay patient and see how the market reacts to these specific earnings. I really do appreciate you guys' time. Hope that I earned a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. I'll see you if you're part of Learn, Plan, Profit at tomorrow's live trading session. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.